A lot of people work hard, get paid, and still feel like their money disappears too fast. The paycheck comes in, the bills get paid, a few purchases happen, and before long the account is already low again. Then the next paycheck becomes the only thing getting them through the month. That cycle is exhausting. Living paycheck to paycheck does not always mean someone is irresponsible. For many people, it happens because their spending, savings, and habits were never built to create margin. The good news is that this cycle can be broken. It starts with understanding what is causing it and making small changes that last. In this video, we are going to talk about how to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start creating more control over your money. Let's get into it. 1. Know exactly where your money is going. If you do not know where your money goes, it is very hard to stop the paycheck to paycheck cycle. A lot of people assume they spend about the same-ish month, but in reality, small purchases and random expenses take a bigger share than they realize. The first step is awareness. Track your spending for at least 1 month. Write down every major category: rent, food, gas, subscriptions, entertainment, shopping, and everything else that matters. You do not need a perfect system, you just need the truth. Once you know where the money is going, you can start making better decisions instead of guessing. 2. Build a small gap between income and spending. One reason people stay stuck is that their spending rises to match their income. Every dollar gets assigned before it even has a chance to sit still. That means there is no room for savings, emergencies, or breathing space. To break this cycle, you need a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Even a small gap matters. That means not treating every paycheck as money that should disappear immediately. Try keeping a little extra each time. Protect a small amount before spending on anything unnecessary. That gap is what starts to give you financial room. Without a gap, you stay trapped. With a gap, you start gaining control. 3. Save before you spend. A lot of people try to save whatever is left at the end of the month. The problem is that there is usually nothing left. By the time all the bills, purchases, and little expenses are done, the money is already gone. That is why saving first is so important. As soon as you get paid, move a portion into savings before anything else. It can be a small amount at first. What matters is the habit. When saving becomes automatic, it stops depending on motivation. This one habit alone can slowly change your financial life. It tells your brain that saving is not optional, it is part of the plan. 4. Cut the spending that does not improve your life. Not every expense is a problem. The real issue is spending that gives very little value in return. These are the purchases that feel normal in the moment, but do not actually make life better. That might be subscriptions you barely use, delivery fees, impulse buys, or convenience spending that keeps adding up. It might be money spent just because you were bored, stressed, or scrolling online. The goal is not to remove everything enjoyable. The goal is to cut the spending that does not really serve you. When you remove waste, you create space. And when you create space, you stop feeling like every paycheck disappears instantly. 5. Give every dollar a job. One of the best ways to stop living paycheck to paycheck is to become intentional before the money disappears. If your money has no plan, it will be used carelessly. If every dollar has a job, your spending becomes more controlled. That does not mean building a perfect budget. It just means deciding where your money should go before the month gets messy. For example, some money goes to bills, some to food, some to savings, some to transportation, and some to personal spending. When money is assigned ahead of time, you are less likely to waste it without thinking. A plan gives your money direction. Without direction, it gets lost. 6. Stop increasing your lifestyle too fast. A lot of people finally start earning a little more money, and the first thing that happens is lifestyle inflation. They move up to nicer places, spend more on food, upgrade their phone, buy more clothes, and slowly raise their expenses. At first, it feels like progress, but if your spending grows as fast as your income, you never actually get ahead. This is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, even when they are making more than before. When you get more money, do not rush to spend it. let part of that income increase go toward savings or financial stability. That is how real progress happens. 7. Create an emergency buffer. A single unexpected expense can push a person right back into the paycheck to paycheck cycle. A flat tire, a medical bill, a broken phone, or a last-minute repair can wipe out the little progress they made. That is why an emergency buffer matters so much. You do not need a huge amount right away. Even a small emergency fund can keep one surprise from turning into a financial crisis. The point is to stop using every paycheck down to zero. A buffer gives you breathing room. It protects you from the constant feeling that one problem can ruin everything. 8. Reduce financial stress with simple habits. When money feels tight, people often become more reactive. They stop thinking clearly and start making faster, more emotional decisions. That makes the cycle even worse. Simple habits can reduce this stress. Check your balance regularly. Keep track of upcoming bills. Review your spending once a week. Avoid waiting until the last minute to deal with money. When you are organized, money feels less overwhelming. And when money feels less overwhelming, you make better choices. Sometimes the path out of paycheck to paycheck living is not a dramatic move. It is just building calm, simple routines around your money. 9. Focus on one change at a time. If you try to fix everything at once, it usually becomes too much. You may decide to save more, spend less, cook every meal at home, stop all impulse buying, and build a perfect budget all in the same week. That usually leads to burnout. A better way is to pick one habit and work on it first. Maybe you start by tracking your spending. Maybe you save your first small amount automatically. Maybe you stop buying food delivery 3 times a week. One improvement can create momentum for the next one. Progress builds. Slowly, but it builds. 10. Think in months, not just days. Living paycheck to paycheck keeps people focused on the short term. They think about the next bill, the next purchase, the next paycheck. But breaking the cycle requires thinking further ahead. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year? When you start thinking long term, your decisions change. You stop asking only what feels good today, and you start asking what will help you tomorrow. That shift is powerful. It turns money from something that disappears quickly into something that starts supporting your future. Stopping the paycheck to paycheck cycle is not about becoming perfect. It is about creating enough margin to breathe. It starts with awareness, then small savings, better spending, and a stronger plan. You do not need to fix your whole life in one day. Start by knowing where your money goes. Save a little first, cut waste, build a buffer, and give yourself room to move forward. That is how financial stability begins. If you have been living paycheck to paycheck, do not assume that is your permanent future. Money habits can change. The cycle can be broken. Start small, stay consistent, and let your future build one paycheck at a time.